Welcome everyone to another video on Absolute War, a playthrough I'm currently doing. Still learning the game, but things are getting increasingly clear to me how everything is supposed to work, although there are, of course, from time to time questions and issues popping up, but mostly I feel like I'm playing the game well, so I'll just run you through what happened on the first Russian turn. This was the Russian offensive card that was in play. It reads that you have to declare a major offensive as soon as possible, but here it says that you actually get two major offensive markers, and the rules say you have to perform them both, or you know, as many as you're supposed to perform based on the card. So I'm not quite sure which of the two applies there, so that's one of the things that is still unclear to me. Anyway, I did declare two, and here in the south they were actually successful. This was a contested area at the end of the German turn, and because of that this Russian unit was allowed to support. Normally well, they were attacking, so that they would have been allowed to give support anyway. And they had a good result. I believe it was defender retreat to hexes and become disrupted. So the defender retreated. I could have advanced into this area, which was the one that they... well, yeah, that's a good question, actually. Because the defender was here, so I'm not... I guess I could have advanced that one into there as well. But I didn't, because that would have opened up... the area to the Russians, to the Germans, and now the defense seems much more solid. Up here in the north is where the other major offensive took place. That one failed. The result was that the attack was repulsed, and in the battle results table it said that you needed to put an unsupplied marker on the attacking units as well. So that one was unsuccessful. The Leningrad unit moved into Novgorod. This seems like a good defensible position because the marshy terrain gives you 2 extra defense steps. The fortress was a reinforcement that was built in Leningrad. There were some moves going on. I put some units in the reserve, which I was allowed to put. And mind you, I'm still getting 2 fortified units at the beginning of the German turn, which is the Stalin line event, which is here. Which means that you get 2 fortified units. Well, this one is still on the map, so I'm actually not quite sure what the rule is for that. The other one was destroyed on the first German turn, so I get to place that one somewhere along this red line. So it actually looks as if the Russian defensive line is relatively solid, especially in the south. Of course, the Germans will get to play next, and they have some very strong stacks, and they will be able to perform some pincer moves. So I wonder what's going to happen there. Coming back to the failed major offensive, that would normally cost the Russians, in this case, a war status point loss, but at that time they were actually on 0, so I suppose you don't actually go down then. Maybe it should have stayed on 0 then. That is something I'm not entirely sure about either. Because they won one here, because that one was put on their offensive card, so it was +1. But then again, it should have been -1. Oh yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And then they scored 1 for well, they don't control Minsk, so they didn't score for that. That's a good question. Well, I guess I should be on 0 then. Maybe I missed something. Anyway, very enjoyable game. A few issues definitely still popping up, but looks like so far the Russians are doing relatively well. Thank you for watching.